But we can't help but feel sad for the good ones who gone. Grandfathers, fathers, the fiddlers and sons, have all left us something in the tales that they told, memories they gave us and left us to hold. We remember you well, like a sword. Offer you to our children, the rhythm is strong. Thank you for wood fire is crackling and the embers are bright. Though memories are flowing like fine wine tonight.
MacNeil is an organization of people who were interested in their heritage. So they were looking for some way of carrying on their traditions, their culture.
A chance to have a gathering to that, and there's a bit of fellowship. You see people this year that you hadn't seen since last year, and there's a bit of camaraderie there.
In the early years, there wasn't such a thing. In the early years, as the clan MacNeil wasn't heard of around here, not to my knowledge. It wasn't until after about 1980 in Ontario, Clan MacNeil was organised. We were hearing bits and we were going to little meetings that they had, and I guess that's when it kind of got going.
It was back in '82 when they got organised, and they called a meeting, and they got the meeting going, and then they got the Karen erected at Iona. Sometimes I go with Neil to the meetings and take in some of the meetings. And he got so involved with the Federation of Scottish Clans at the time, you know, everything that we were doing in our clan, we'd bring it to the Federation and bring it up there, which was a good thing.
I became interested in the organization because of two things, really. I used to listen to my dad, who was 4th or 5th generation, and he was always talking about going home and going home. But at the time, we were home, so I never knew what home it was he was going home to. But as I got older and listened to him, he was talking about Scotland. And that's how strong the culture was, that many generations away, he was still calling it home. I was just a young fella then, in my early 30s, starting a family, and I wanted my children to experience the same kind of commitment to our culture and our traditions.
Clan MacNeil became a meeting ground for those of Scottish ancestry in the Atlantic provinces. As an organization, Clan MacNeil found its home in central Cape Breton. The area is comprised of a cluster of communities centered around the shores of the Barrow Strait, where over 200 years ago, those first Barrow settlers decided to make their home.
The MacNeils are pretty powerful in Cape Breton when it comes down to the clans.
As history would have it, central Cape Breton was first settled by MacNeils, and their impact is easily found along the majority of bloodlines in the community still. There are very few who can't find at least a trace of MacNeil blood somewhere in their family tree.
But it wasn't until 1801 that the settlers came here. There was 4 men. There was Donald MacNeil and his son Rory, John MacNeil and his son's name was John also, Ian Akazan. 2 ways of saying John.
When I went to school in Barraglen, one year there was 54 on the register. That's a 1-room school. And there was 48 of them were MacNeil. And the rest were McKinnons, from McKinnon separate. So that gives you an idea of the MacNeils that was around.
When we started the association, Clan MacNeil Association, it was never meant that it was only the MacNeils that could join the group. We had a strong contingent of McLeans and McKinnons and McDonalds. It really was an organization that wanted to celebrate our heritage. So anybody who wanted to join, who wanted to be a MacNeil, were welcome. And lots of people came out, and they're still coming out. When we have our annual clan days, I probably could guess that 50% of the people in the hall are not strictly MacNeils. But yet, if you check their blood, there will be a trace. Everybody comes from a MacNeil.
You don't have to be a MacNeil to be a member of Clan MacNeil. You can be a McGillicuddy if you want to, and come in and be a MacNeil. Be a Clan MacNeil. Yeah, as long as you're willing to come in and support the clan and work with the clan, that's all that matters.
I'm sure most people are going to agree our greatest accomplishment was our 200th anniversary, our big celebration that happened here in Iona, celebrating the original landing of the 4 MacNeil men in Iona. That by far was our biggest undertaking, and it by far was our greatest accomplishment.
The whole thing was a memory. The whole thing was a memory. It was so nice to see the way they performed, you know, like moving the boat from the shore and going around and coming to shore again. You know. They worked hard that day on going around that wharf into them choppy waters. There was times, I think Maki was telling me, there was times there they didn't think they were going to make it. And when they were bailing the boat was leaking. When they were bailing the boat, there was 2 buckets coming in to the one that they were putting out. And there was always a bucket ahead of them. And that was a big thing. And when they came to shore then, and they were confronted by the natives, you know, and everything, you know, put it back in your own mind, you know, the way things happened, really happened the first time. And then it's happening the second time. And they did a darn good job in putting that together, you know, and bringing the pieces together like the way it was in the beginning.
Do you think that was important for the youth to see that?
Oh, I think it was. Very important, yeah. It was very important. And I think they learned a lot from it too. And